Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. This is Johnny. I'm here with a presidential candidate, one of, if not the most youngest presidential candidate in American history, Mr. Brandon McIntyre, with the slogan, "Let's go, Brandon," which is a pretty funny slogan. so, you're 33 going on 34, 34 going on 35. How old are you?
34 going 35.
Right, and then the legal age to become president is 35, but you'll be there by the threshold.
Yes, by the
Right,
time limit, by the time we should actually make the deadline.
right. So if you did become president, you would by far be like the youngest president in American history, correct?
Right.
That's incredible. You know, there's not a lot of young people out there that are running for president. And I saw you sent me the papers. You're like officially in the running and everything. You got all your documents together. You're you're a legit candidate. This is not a joke.
Yes. Yes.
So why would somebody your age, somebody so young, decide to run for president?
Well, running for president is something that I always wanted to do, actually. You know what I'm saying? Since I was a kid, growing up in school, you know what I'm saying? I ask you what you want to do when you grow up, what you want to be when you grow up. So I always wanted to be the president, but I was never the age to become the president. So I had to wait, sit back, and see what other presidents do, see how they maneuver, see how they do things. So I never really showed my face in the politic world, but I always stayed back, sat in the room, and listened.
Right, but you were always like kind of aware of what was going on, right? Who inspired you about politics in the beginning?
Well, Bill Clinton inspired me because that's about around the time I really got into the actual candidates wanting to be presidents and stuff like that. So I would say Bill Clinton.
Okay, cool. Now, you were mentioning we've been exchanging some emails, and you were mentioning that you have a lot of ideas for here at home in America. Um, Rents are skyrocketing, right? Since COVID, rents in some areas, especially the big cities, have been like doubling. Some places even tripling in rents, going from a thousand a month to 2,000 in the span of 2 3 years. What sort of solutions could you provide for Americans to to fight off those rising rents?
Well, we have to cut taxes in order to fight up those high topic rents in certain areas in certain states. What we have to do is we have to back off, some of the east states on the percentages and all those things like that. Because if I'm not mistaken, they're at what 40-some% at the moment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying we want to back them down a little bit and make them more affordable for the sufficient homeowners and the people that actually renting out the property or giving, or selling the property. So we want to cut down. We kind of want to slightly cut back on taxes.
Right. Now it's been in the news recently how there's three companies. There's BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, the third. These three companies have been buying up a lot of single family homes. I think between the three of them, they're already owning like millions of single family homes since COVID. What would you do to prevent these few companies from buying up all the homes to the point where a regular person can't buy a house?
Well, we have to think about the land of the country, and what type of land they're actually buying. You know what I mean? So we have to actually just not, like I was saying about the tax rates and stuff like that. I mean, we all have to come to an agreement where we have to have affordable homes for United States citizens. I mean, that's a must, regardless. You know what I'm saying? We have to come down and sit down and come up with an agreement plan where we are all winning at the table, where we are affordable for us United States citizens.
Right.
I mean,
well, you know how the guys from the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, they have the famous quote like, "You won't own nothing and you will be happy." They're buying up all of these homes, and instead of making them, single family ownership, they're turning them into permanent rentals. So would you try to stop them from making like permanent renters in America?
Well, my thing is permanent renters. That's my first time ever hearing about permanent renters. I mean, I don't know what state that would be happening in, but I don't think that would be constitutional. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To give someone agrees to it verbally, or actually sign a contract with like a lease or an agreement. You know what I mean? Then yes, but within that lease or agreement, that person cannot go up on the rent or go up on the things that supplied upon that year or that month or whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, what I mean is what they're doing is basically, let's say if you live in a town, right? Those companies, 3 companies, and they're American companies, but they're pretty much buying up every single empty property. So if you have saved up 300K, they're selling the house for 300K. BlackRock or State Street will go and they'll offer 400K cash, not even a mortgage, and they'll buy it instantly, and then they turn that home into a rental. Would you
lease it to someone for a year?
Yeah, but then the thing is, they're taking all the homes, so that if you want to buy one, you can't even find one.
Wow.
So would you try to like put a stop to that?
I would actually put a stop to that, because that's not fair to the human citizens. You know what I'm saying? Because our homeless rate is high. You know what I'm saying? We're actually trying to fight for one another, not trying to kill one another. So by them taking homes away, what's next? The food? You know what I mean? So if they taking homes away and putting homes at a certain rate where we can't afford them, that's not constitutional to the United States citizens.
Right. Now, so in regards to, let's say, like government welfare, that has people very divided in America. Some people say that welfare should be cut. Other people say it should be put to like a work program where you have to work a certain amount to get it. Some people try to meet in the middle and say, well, America needs more child care. Maybe have them take care of kids and then they can get welfare benefits. So it's not always a negative if they have to work. You know, it's not like they have to work for a company. They could do like some sort of volunteer work. But where do you fall? Do you just want welfare, no strings attached? Do you want them to have some sort of requirements to get it, or do you want to just eliminate it?
Well, my thing is, I'm not going to eliminate welfare. You know what I'm saying? Welfare's been around for a while in a couple of president stages. You know what I'm saying? So what we would do is we would decrease, because we're trying to get back to the United States citizens of America. We want to decrease the age limit to actually receive it. But it's upon a stimulation of how many years have you worked to receive it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that you're going to retire when you're 70, 80 years old and now you're trying to get your pension or your benefits or whatnot. We actually want to cut that down to a point where we all are benefiting from the work that we put back into America, you know?
Right. Okay. So next question. There's been a big issue here at home, especially in the state of California. California wants to ban all gas cars by 2030, all sales of new gas cars. So if you already own one, you're good, but you can't buy any new gas cars after that. And it's like to combat climate change and stuff. Personally, I support combating climate change, but I'm not sure that's the way to go. How would you structure this whole new era we need to be in? Because obviously having our enemies like Saudi Arabia and Russia control the oil is kind of puts us at a disadvantage if they want to raise prices, but we can't really, like, we can't disconnect like in one not even in 10 years like they want to do. So how would you solve this whole issue?
That would be, you're right, you got a good point though. That would be very impossible to detach within 10 years. That would be very difficult to do within my term of presidency. You know what I mean? So, I mean, starting that type of battle or starting that type of agenda wouldn't be crazy or wouldn't be thinking out of the box. It would be something that the ecosystem had to agree with, you know?
Right. Do you have like,
you know what I'm saying? Because
do you have like an opinion on like nuclear energy, solar energy, wind energy? Do you want to help with any of those?
Yeah. See, my goal is to actually come up with with an energy saving bill. You know, I want to be able to save the human citizen race of our nation, our kind, a way of saving and producing energy of our own. You know, because I feel like the lights that we're using today should be emergency things. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but we should be on an energy saving as well as a budget plan to actually put monies back into homes, into the United States businesses, so people won't be buying up, or companies won't be buying up land, because everyone that's a United States citizen should be able to share and come up with a budget within themselves upon business to require the land, to receive the land, or to be able to produce what they need on the land to provide back to their communities. That's what I feel.
Right. And I remember a little bit before my time and your time in schools, they used to actually teach that. They used to teach kids how to budget. They used to teach them economics. They used to teach them a way to go through adulthood. As a responsible adult. Um, would you be for bringing that back into schools?
I would be for bringing a lot back in school. You know what I'm saying? That's my whole campaign as well, is to focus on the youth. You know, our future. You know, that's why I'm running to be the youngest president of the United States of America, because that's where it starts with. It starts with our third class citizens and our youth that grows America and that runs our businesses that make us millionaires. You know what I'm saying? So we cannot forget about the roots of our nature. You know, so we have to actually grow the roots in order to expand within America to make America great again. All right. But my thing is, to answer your question, I will put a lot back in school. Okay. I will teach kids how to write checks. I will teach kids how to, like you said, the economy. You know what I'm saying? Teach kids more than reading and writing. You know, teach kids about stock marketing. Teach kids about actually filing taxes, learning tax laws. You know, learning the Constitution, things of that nature, to actually allow them to become an actual functional production citizen of America. That's my goal as the youngest president of the United States of America.
All right. Now, on the topic of young kids, with the rise of the internet, the rise of TikTok, there's been like a lot of like viral moments. All the kids want to go viral, and growing up, we already lived in a dangerous time, and now kids are doing crazy stuff just for clout, and crime is through the roof. um, how would you put a pause and maybe even reverse a lot of the crime issues happening in America?
Well, my issue with the crime rate right now and the issue of the crime in America is guns. You know, it's based on the guns, and different state has different policies upon the gun law. So I want to bring everything back constitutional, but I have stipulations. As me being the youngest president of the United States of America, I want to be able to form a system where if you kill a man, a United States citizen, or you stab a man with a deadly weapon, no matter form, shape, or fashion, if you hurt a man with a deadly weapon, you will get the death penalty. Okay. And what I mean by you get a death penalty, because it's the fact that what we promote as a system is bare hands.
Right.
We don't use our public instruments as a nation to kill another human civilian that's part of our same nation and culture. White, black, yellow, green, no matter. That's my agenda. But that comes with a stipulation, as if you're 60 and you're 70 years old, 65, and you out in public and someone attack you, you have every right to shoot that person. If someone cross your threshold and in your home, you have every right to protect your family. You have every right to do those things. But I'm trying to eliminate the street violence, the killing dead human civilians in the dead broad daylights in the streets, So if you get caught, and we will push AI to that point. We will push AI to the point where we can track serial killers and killers of using deadly force weapons against human civilians. You know, you would get the death penalty.
So
That's
essentially,
what I have.
so essentially, you're for guns, you're for the Second Amendment, but also you want zero tolerance policy on illegal shootings, right? That's what I say. Okay. So essentially, if somebody severely injures or kills somebody with a weapon, death penalty. And that might be a very strong deterrent. Um okay.
They
Moving.
came up with the well, they came up with a 10-20 law back in the day. You know, when I was a little younger. What is it 10, 20, 25, what it was? The 10, 20, 25 law.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So it came up with that where if you created a crime, you would get 10 or the maximum punishment of the crime you created. So my thing is, if we are actually about protecting United States citizens, all right, we should force this law, okay? And we should force AI to be control of things like that. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was in the army or you was in the army and we created friendly fire, what kind of crime is that? You know? So you got to think about that. We are army. We all are soldiers, you know, of the United States.
Right. Now, while we're on the topic of AI, you mentioned AI. A lot of people are worried. A lot of people are scared that robots are going to take their jobs. Now, it might not happen during your presidency, but within 15, 20 years, it's very possible that a lot of these jobs are replaced with robots. How do you feel about the future in that regard? Like, do you think that robots will kind of ruin the economy? Do you think it's a fantasy? What steps can we make?
What they want to do is make it seem like robots. What they're trying to market the robots as, they're helping produce for the human race, you know, which is not the actual motive that I feel, you know. I feel like they're actually creating the human robots to actually take over in some shape, form, or fashion because the United States citizens are getting lazy and they are making us lazy, you know. They're making us, they're forcing us to a point where we want to sit back and have that home job instead of having the motivation to get up and go out and go get it. You know, they're making us sit back and look at more computer screens and try to become more viral, like you said earlier. You know what I mean? But the agenda of the robots that I would push is forming an army. You know, an army to fight against aliens, things that comes to hurt the land. I would not form a robot to take our American citizen job. That's what we fought for. We fought for our freedom. We fought for our rights. We fought for everything besides a robot that come take our dream away, you know?
So now moving on to foreign policy. There's a lot of things going on in the country, a lot of things going on in the world. Israel, Russia, China. There's a lot. There's Africa is rising. A lot of different countries are going to Africa. They all want to see who's going to be the ones that profit the most from those rising economies in Africa. So first off, I just want to ask you to start with the most basic thing that's been happening for about 2 years, the Ukraine war. We've been sending Ukraine billions to stop Russia from invading them. How do you think that war has been going, and do you think we should continue funding that?
Well, I definitely disagree with continued funding it. You know, as we had the conversations of me giving back to the human race, I would actually take the troops away that we have assigned over there. I would take them back, and I would go head on and try to neutralize the situation that's causing the issue, why they're fighting, why they're going through what they're going through. But my main goal is to protect my troops, our human race, United States citizens. So until we get to the bottom line of what's actually going on, us as a third-class citizens, they don't really tell us much about what's going on, you know. So what we do is we look at the news, which could be Real news could be fake news. We really don't know. So I'm the voice for the third class citizens of America, you know, and we just have to make things formal again, right? And get everybody on the same page.
So you would
I have
basically
Ukraine friends.
you basically try to
I know people.
negotiate.
Right, negotiate. I mean, I have Ukraine people. I have Ukraine friends. You know what I'm saying? I have Chinese friends. You know what I'm saying? He says, and I'm a third class citizen. You know, and half of them don't even know why they're fighting. You know,
Right.
they don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they just know that some of their family time while they're at work or doing something in America. You know.
So basically, stop funding the war and try to just negotiate some peace. Okay.
Yes.
Now we've got this Israel-Palestine war. It was started by Hamas. October 6th, Hamas made an attack on them. But a lot of people have been saying that Israel's response has been overboard. Like they've been killing anybody they see, men, women, children. Recently, some of their own hostages were there. Some of their own Israeli hostages. They even had white flags, and they killed the hostages. Like they're just, people are saying Israel is just killing everybody they see, not even just fighters. How do you think Israel has been acting in that, and how you think we should even, how do we bring peace to this issue that's been going on?
Well, right now, Israel is acting out of fear in order to be killing people like that. And you got to understand they stressed right now due to the fact of what's going on. They all shocked and unbelieved about what's happened. You know what I'm saying? And us as a nation, that happened to us, we wouldn't know who to trust either. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we have to prevent as nations, who and what to trust. You know, so I would try to prevent peace within that matter as well. But my goal is to actually take our troops away from the matter.
Right, because we also give them a lot of funding too.
Right.
And I'm guessing that's where you would get a lot of the money for the education and things like that. Just kind of pulling back on the money we're giving to other countries and bring that to our own Americans.
Yes.
Okay. So our biggest rival is China. America, we elect a new president every 4 years. Sometimes they say 8 years, but at the end of 8 years, they have to go. Oftentimes, a president of the opposing party comes in and wants to change everything completely. China seems to have a 50-year plan where they plan for 50 years ahead. And then, they want to be number one. They want to have more money than America. They want to be the dominant military force. And we try to be diplomatic with them. We try to be friendly, but they're still doing what they want to do to pull through with their 50-year plan. They want to be number one. How do we as Americans ensure that we remain the wealthiest country in the world? How we prevent war with China while keeping them happy enough to be a good partner?
Well, we have to sit down and talk to China. We have to actually come to some type of agreement as well, But the thing is about that, from the history, is always say we owe China money.
Oh, yeah.
Suppose you got on China, things exported, imported from China. So what we have to do is we have to actually bring America on a budget plan to actually stand forth this ground upon this constitutional. Because the thing about it, we need to bring more jobs back to America, and we need to take our jobs back from China. We supported China with money as well. So all these countries that we support money to have the tendency to want to turn their back on the hand that fed them. So what we have to do is put our citizens back in the mood, the motivation to want to work, and promise them and give them the actual funds to do what they need to do upon daycare, kids supplying, so when they go to work, more transportation to point A to point B. You know what I'm saying? So it won't be no excuses for American citizens who can't work.
Now, something you just said, how you want to bring our jobs back. We used to have all these factories in America, and then we started sending them to China, Vietnam, Um, a lot of our jobs now aren't as quality as those jobs used to be. Those jobs used to be able to be one worker, take care of a whole family with that one factory job, and we used to make stuff. COVID showed us COVID showed us that we can't rely on these other countries, right, to sell us supplies. Because when COVID happened, China started just keeping all the supplies to themselves. That's a good point. Now, I want to ask you, same topic about China. China has a closed internet. They're a very closed country, and America's a very open country. So, like you said, the NFL takes a lot of Chinese money, and now they're taking so much that as soon as China doesn't like something, they threaten to cut that money back, and then NFL will be like, okay, I'm sorry, and they'll do what they say. Same thing with farms. China's buying up farms. Do you think China has too much money in America, too much influence in America?
Well, I've done my research. China has a lot of businesses in America. China has a lot of companies that's a huge companies that are in America. And I don't know how that happened, but it happened. But that's the only place, the United States, America, I think is the only place I know that you can actually form a business in without actually being a citizen.
Right.
So I think that's not right. But what I would do is I would form, once I become a president, my extreme executive order would be a mass distraction. A mass distraction is where I will provide a time frame for all illegal citizens to come forth. No files and no charges will be held against you. We will send you home free. We're not saying that you can't come back, but we got to do this the right way. We have to get accountable for what America has and who is American citizens. For me to be president, in order for me to do what I need to do for we the people, as the voice of the people, I have to get accountable for who is American.
Right.
But even with the foreign policy of being a foreign American. Now, if you became the right to become an American and did all your paperwork and then passed your test and to become legal, I have no problem with that. Okay. But if you have family over there in India or over there in Asia, after we have done this mass distraction, I will allow your family to come to America to become free. Well, not free, but actually use the actual citizen, become an actual citizen of America to be free. Okay. So what I'm saying is that I will allow all moms, dads, cousins, and sisters. We will provide that for free, okay, to come over. But this will eliminate when they start bombing over there in India, if that happen, or they start doing crazy things. America cannot put their nose over there trying to go save Palestinian people, Israel people, because we gave them the opportunity to come to America to become productive citizens, okay? Even for China. So if China go to war, same issue.
Okay, last question. This is actually a two-part question. It's a fun one. It's about outer space. We've recently had a lot of news that the military, the CIA, contractors are in possession of alien craft. There's a lot of whistleblowers saying this. But then every time Congress tries to get information on anything, they're just denied. Do you think there's an issue with unelected officials? These people are just appointed, and they're not elected, and they're being so secretive, and they want to classify everything that even our president can't read these documents and see what we have. Do you think that there should be some sort of reform where they have to be accountable to the government, these secret groups? And also, do you think that we should spend money going to the moon, going to Mars, exploring outer space?
All right. I would like to ask you your second question because in your first question last, okay? The second question, I don't feel like we need to be experimenting out of space, out of Mars, I feel like God gave us a perfect place to live, to learn our lesson and to go home. We just got to be able to take care of ourselves and be able to create a good race of society people, and we all can go home, you know. So, but to answer your first question, last, man, I feel like it's a little different. It's a little different. I mean, that's a little different. Um, I really don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. But I would like to pass on that question because it's crazy to me, man. You know
Right.
it's just very crazy.
Well, like personally, I don't believe that we have UFO crafts. You know, the military is denying it. The problem is that they don't want to allow Congress to even go see if it's true or not. If it's not true,
Right.
why not let your own elected officials see?
Yeah.
You know, it's like what's going on? If we don't have anything, why can't we see?
But those are public things, right?
Right.
We all should know public matter and things, right?
So
I think
so as a commander in chief, if you become our president this November and you're sworn in January of 2025, would you authorize the military to declassify all information related to that matter?
after certain matter, I can give that as a whole yes, but I have to look at the classifications to see what actually needs to be revealed and what doesn't need to be revealed. So that question would be a good question, and I will have to not decline that question, but answer that question properly.
Okay, Mr. McIntyre, this was a great interview. We learned a lot about you, a lot about your candidacy. I hope to get a lot more time with you in the future. We go in depth on some more subjects, what you want to do as president.
Okay.
Now, just to end this off on a good note, what do you want Americans to know about their future under your presidency?
Well, I want to let the people know that our campaign is represent a fresh perspective, okay, and it's committed to actual changing and developing new eras, you know. So I just want to let them know that we're trying to revitalize the democracy of the United States. We're trying to make sure things are at its best for the American citizens and for the America itself. You know, and we also just want to just embrace ourselves and embody the spirit within itself, and to create a new generation with wealth. You know, so we can actually give back to the people as a constitutional party. You know what I mean? That leaves more challenges, more transparency, and listening to one another. That's what I would like to put as me becoming the youngest president of the United States of America.
All right, Mr. Brandon McIntyre, one of the youngest candidates to ever run for U.S. president. Wish you good luck. Wish you a happy new year. Thank you for your time.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.